a beach, like rocks behind the beach area, and I feel like I see like a little boy, dark skin, dark hair, and
What is he wearing?
he's wearing a red, like it looks for some reason it's really bright red, and it's like a skirt type thing, and that's it.
Right, skirt red. What's the boy doing?
Just on the beach, like I think he has a stick and he's just flicking rocks with it.
And if you were to look down at your feet, if where feet would be, what do you see?
No shoes.
No shoes. Toes?
Oh, yeah, like chunky toes.
Chunky toes. And
Yeah.
do you see if you're wearing any clothes?
Like a white thing like the boy's wearing. The red one. Yeah.
And do you know if you're a boy or a girl? Male or female?
Male.
Male.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
I'm getting like 42.
Can you describe more of the beach to me and what you see around you if you were to turn around or
It's
explore a little more?
rocky behind me, and there's some grass on the rock area. It's like a cliff type thing, but not really high up.
Okay.
And behind it would be like huts.
There's huts.
Mm-hmm.
How many huts?
Like it's not real clear. There's a lot. I can't. They're kind of like scattered.
Okay. So
I
like
can see them pretty far.
It's okay.
Can
you walk to the little boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's my son or grandson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Son or grandson. What does he do when he sees you walking towards him?
He just looks up and acknowledges that I'm coming.
And how do you feel being with your son, grandson right now?
Like powerful.
Powerful. Do you have a name for your grandson or son?
I can't, not really. Can't get anything.
That's okay. That's okay.
Like I keep thinking like J-O-B, but it doesn't seem like that's a complete name. And I know I've been thinking about job stuff, so I don't think that's a name of the kid. I don't know. It feels
No
like
worries.
that's a name, but yeah.
Job? Maybe Job.
Job,
Yeah.
maybe.
Don't.
It feels incomplete though.
Okay. No worries. It's no worries. So now that are you with your grandson now?
Yeah, at the water, the edge
At
of
the
the
water.
ocean. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hang out here a little bit and then maybe turn around and walk towards the huts. And just the more you talk, the more that will be revealed. So you can describe the littlest and the biggest of things you see or impressions that fall upon you.
Okay.
What color is the ocean?
Like a murky bluish green. It's not real clear.
Okay. Bluish green. Do you have any jewelry on?
Necklace,
A necklace?
like a chunky necklace.
Okay. And when you walk, do you feel pain anywhere, being that you're older, 42, or do you feel like you're in good shape?
Pretty good shape. Maybe stomach pain, like
Some
sickness.
stomach pain?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So is there a path that you walk along to get back to the huts, or do you have to crawl over the rocks?
There's like a path, a small path to where the rocks are shorter, and you can go over them easier, but you gotta climb a little bit.
Okay. Is your grandson or son following you, or does he just stay?
Yeah, he's following me. I feel like we have like a like an arrow looking thing, like a, I don't know what they're called. They're like, has like an arrowhead point on the end, and it's a long stick.
Okay.
We both
So that
have
would
one
be
of those.
Do you have a bow as well, or just an arrow?
No, it's long. It's like it touches the
like a
ground.
spear?
A spear, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you both have a spear.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Did you catch any fish or anything? Do you have any baskets or bags you need to carry with you?
We do have a basket, like a bucket, wooden.
A bucket, a wooden bucket.
But I think there's like, there might be 2 fish, like
Okay.
silver looking.
Okay.
Not that big.
Do you see any wild animals while you're walking back, or any birds in the sky?
No.
Okay.
It's
So
pretty clear.
Yeah, just describe to me what you see as you get closer to the
Like
huts.
there's like a village, of huts. There's some people milling around, like I feel like I see almost like a cauldron type thing, like at some of them, like people cooking. I don't know, like a
Is
black.
it shared?
Seems like that like there's more than one, but everybody doesn't have.
Okay, so they're shared, but there's more than one.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the people wearing?
Just very like cloth clothing, like the men have very little on and the women have like very little on.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like covered bottoms basically.
And is it all the same color?
No, well, mostly white, and then there's some red, which is bizarre.
That bright red that the little boy was wearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anything come up when I ask what the symbolism of the color is? Like, why would the little boy wear the bright red?
Power.
So power would be the red or the white?
The red. Like, I get the feeling that it's like a powerful family. Like our family is powerful, and like that we sometimes are allowed to wear red, but other people aren't.
And the other people you're seeing, are they a part of your family?
Not all of them. No.
Okay.
I've not seen my family at this point. It's just people.
What do the huts look like?
Light brown, like almost cream looking colored, like wood and stone, maybe. Not that big. All very small, almost like a tent size, with a porch. They all have porch.
Okay. What's on the porches?
The cauldrons, or like a mat for people to sit on.
Okay.
Bucket.
So notch chairs.
Yeah. Like a cloth mat type thing. And buckets. feel like there's like a big area with like bonfire, like where you would have a bonfire or like rocks in a circle kind of thing.
Okay. Big area with a potential bonfire. The people you're passing, do they look happy?
Not really.
Do they notice you when you pass by?
Yeah. I don't think they like
When I ask why don't they like you, what comes to mind?
that I'm a mean ruler.
Oh, you're a ruler.
Not nice one.
Not nice. What do you do that's not nice?
I don't give them all food. Like I withhold food. I control what people eat when they don't eat.
How does this make you feel?
Powerful, strong.
Powerful. Yeah.
Like I feel like that's justified.
You like feeling powerful.
I want I think it's my son, this one kid. The kid is my son. I want him to be the same.
Okay. And how does your son
he looks
feel
up
about
to
that?
me.
Okay.
He likes that he doesn't have to work as hard as the other people. That we don't have to work as hard, and we get to tell them what to do, and we get to just control them.
He enjoys the power as well.
But he can't he can't help it. It's because I've made him that way.
Do you have any other children? Do you have a hut? What does your hut look like?
My hut is just a little bigger, has like 4 rooms versus 1. Just looks a little like a bigger version of the other smaller ones. I think I have several wives.
And
how
many children do you have? And several
I'm
children?
12. Number 12 comes to mind.
Okay.
Don't know if that's wives or children.
Okay. Yeah, describe to me what you're seeing and where you all are headed. Or if you're at home, what home
we're just walking through the little village of all the dotted like huts and stuff,
and just feeling powerful while walking through the village.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's a lot of love, like for me with my children or my wives or anything. It's just power, power, power. That's all I love is power.
Interesting. And what was how did you become the ruler? Was it your dad? You're born it? Yeah. Okay. And was he the same way?
Yes.
Yes.
Like as far as I can think back, like it was just a bunch of like the family was powerful and the family loved power, and that was it.
And how do you maintain your power? Oh no, tell me.
I was gonna say it's not so much. I wouldn't even like describe it as like cruelness, like just outright like diabolical cruelness. It was more like I feel justified in controlling the people, and I like it, and my family just always did, and they like instilled that it was justified because that's what needed to be done to control them. Because if we didn't control them, then we would lose our tribe, I guess. Our community.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's dive a little deeper into that. Why does your community need you? What resonates when I ask that?
To keep them alive.
And to keep them alive, how?
Fed and
How do you get your
like,
food?
I think we catch it. Fish, a lot of fish.
Mm,
And there might be another village, like a different type of people village where we could get like fruits and vegetables and things like that. That's nearby.
you trade, like you
Yeah,
trade
yeah,
your
yeah.
fish?
Fish for that.
And how are you? Are you a good fisher? Do you fish? Do you do some of the
Uh,
fishing?
I've taught my kids, but I don't do much. I just don't do much. Like I just make people do things for me.
And if they didn't listen, what would happen?
They wouldn't eat.
Mm,
Like that's how I do most of my controlling is through food.
okay. And do you have any type of army or soldier of any type?
Yeah, all the men
All the men.
in the village or the tribe. Yeah,
Okay.
and boys.
Okay. What do you see now when you're moving around?
We have donkeys there.
You have
And
donkeys?
they in small wooden carts, and so the carts can be taken for the trade in the
Mm,
village. Yeah,
mm. How far away is this other village?
get like 10 hours in my mind. Like that's what comes to mind. 10 hours.
And do you ever go?
Yes, because I'm respected.
Mm, mm-hmm. When's the next time you need to leave to go?
6 days.
In 6 days? And what do you do to prepare to go?
We have to get all the fish and we have to preserve them, but I don't know how we preserve them. It wooden box type things.
But you're not sure how the wooden box works?
No, we just put them in there, but somehow we have something that preserves them, and I don't. Look. It honestly looks like parchment paper, but I wouldn't even know if there was such a thing as I don't know. Looks like brown parchment paper in between the fish, like
Okay.
they're stacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't question it. Don't
Okay.
question it.
What and like straw
And straw.
inside of
Okay.
the box, and the box has like it has slats almost like has a lid and
Okay.
there's slats so like air gets through.
Okay. Okay.
And we put them on the cart, like stack them on the carts that the donkeys have.
Okay. And do you do any of the stacking or do you just watch?
A little, but mainly just tell people how to do it.
Okay.
The other men and guys. And the women have to help put the fish in the baskets. And I feel like this came to me too that I will trade young women sometimes.
Oh, okay. What do you trade young women for?
For marriage or like, oh, they go get married or to like sex trade, honestly.
Okay, sex trade.
And I get more food.
And you get more food. It's all about food.
Yep, everything's food.
Okay. And how do you feel about knowing you're selling young women in the sex
I
trade?
feel like it has to be done. Like I have no emotion at all.
You have no
No,
emotions.
like this has to be done for food to feed the village and to continue to have power over the village.
Okay. So I'm going to count to 5, and I want to rewind time a little bit back in this man's life to a time when he did feel emotion. If there was a time when he loved and felt something, and maybe the scene or time when that was all taken away.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tell me what comes to mind.
He had his mom. He loved his mom and his sister.
And what happened to them?
His mom got sick. She died when he was young. And then his sister, his dad sold his sister. Traded her.
How old was he when that happened?
Like 8.
How did that make him?
Like 12, I think. He was sad, but
he was sad.
Yeah. And then he realized his dad didn't care about anybody because it was his own daughter.
What did his dad tell him? Did he ever ask his dad why, or were there any messages in that time?
That he was afraid to ask, but it was known that it just had to be done. But it was like it had been done to other kids, but that was his closest. He was close with her.
So did he just have no one after that once his sister and mom?
Yeah, nobody that had any emotion or nurturing, or it was all about his dad and being powerful like him because he was his oldest son.
And how did his dad treat him?
Without emotion, but like this is, you have to do this, you have to do, like telling him how he had to treat people in the village, and that this otherwise like the village will dissolve, and like how it was important to be in control to maintain like a population.
Now that we know this root cause, let's fast forward to the next important scene that you need to witness. And on the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3. Let me know what comes to mind.
Okay. It's in the village, the bigger village.
Oh, like with the donkeys where he trades?
Yeah. And he's got a girl, like she's probably like 15, and she doesn't want to go, and she's crying, and he's just watching it happen.
Is he feeling anything?
No, it's like he kind of will start to feel a little something, and then he pushes it away, like, no, I can't do that. Like that, and doesn't, and then gets very cold, and she's like screaming, being dragged off, basically, like carried off, but she's trying to fight it.
And did he bring his son with him, or anyone else with him?
There's like 4 other donkeys and the trailer things that pull the food. So 4, and then there's like 8 men and his son, and like he's got other sons too, but that's his, like, I guess the oldest maybe, or the closest to him. I don't know. The others I feel like are nephews, the older ones.
Okay. If I were to ask you what his name is, does anything come to mind?
Like Tatu or something. Tatu is coming to my mind.
Tatu. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I were to ask what country that we would know it as,
I'm
does anything
getting
come
like Macedonia.
Macedonia. Okay. What about a year?
786.
BC, AC?
Like after Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. That's good. Describe to me this other town. What does it look like, or village? Do they have huts too?
I don't. All I'm seeing right now is like tables set up, maybe some tents over the table. It's like a market. I
Okay.
don't see where they live or anything. I just see people working the market, and they're a little bit lighter skinned people than what I am.
Okay. Could you describe so we could understand lighter skin? Like, are they white or is it more of
Like
a tan?
more of a tan, but white, more like Italian looking, I would say. Like something like a
Okay.
Greek or an Italian
Okay.
person would look like. And I'm darker than that. I'm more like
Oh,
in Indian,
dark.
darker. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what types of things are they selling at this market?
Blankets,
Blankets?
um, food, lots of food, like rice, bread, fruits, vegetables, um, some jewelry. Like things they make with by hand, like wooden boxes and smaller wooden boxes and
Okay.
clothes.
And clothes. And what is he getting today from the market, especially after selling a 14-year-old tattoo?
Um, food, just tons of food and and a few blankets and things to sit on in the huts, but mainly food.
Okay. And when does he head back home, or where is he pulled next?
He's not there for long.
Okay.
Just enough time to do business, and then they start heading back. But they have to stop and like camp.
Okay.
It takes like 10 hours. I think that's by foot, so they can walk maybe like half that in a day, without tiring. So it's like a 2-day trip there and a 2-day trip back.
Okay. Okay. A question that comes to mind is, if his people wanted food, couldn't they go fish and find food themselves?
They're not allowed to
What
unless he
happens if
gets
they do?
permission.
And what
There's
happens if they do?
they're whipped.
They're whipped.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
And
physical
whipped by who?
punishment
By him?
by him or someone he tells to do it. It's always a
Mm,
male, always. Or they will starve, like he will starve.
mm, mm.
That's always punishment. Like they might get it, initial physical, but the main punishment for him is to starve people, like take the food, and if they don't comply or if he still feels there's a reason they should be punished, then he's even starved people to death. Like he doesn't care.
Mm. Has he starved anyone to death before?
Yeah, lots of people.
And what
Like
does
at
he do
least
with
a few a year.
a few a year? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. What does he do with the bodies?
and puts them in the water
Mm,
with rocks. Ties rocks to them with like twine. Sends them into
okay.
the water. But it's like a sacrificial or like a ritualistic thing.
Mm. Describe. Let's, at the count of 3, let's move to a time when he did this when he drowned a body, or it was starved first and he right?
Yeah.
On the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3. Describe to me what's going on.
So like everybody's there on the
Okay.
water's edge, the town, all the village, they have to be there. And he has like a torch looking thing, I guess. It's kind of dusk. And they've got the body. It's like a woman, middle age, well, at the time, middle age, probably 30s. And she's been starved because she tried to catch food for her kids, like fish, and he was told not to. And the kids were misbehaving, and he didn't think they needed extra food, like beyond what he was giving them. And she was caught multiple times trying to catch more food for her children. And he starved her. And she's tied, he's got her. It's almost like on a wooden board laid out, like on their backs. She's tied up to the board with rocks so that once they send her in the water, she's gonna sink. Like, not heavy rocks so that she sinks right away, but like enough to carry her out and then weigh her down at some point. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, like the language that he speaks to the people is not English, so I don't know what is said, like, because I can't hear it in English and I don't understand it. But he's basically telling them, like, the intuition that I have says that he's telling them that, like, this is what will happen to you and that we have to obey him and the people that he decides that they need to obey because there's a reason for it. Like, that right now that the bigger village respects their tribe and him, and that if they begin to starve or if they begin to not be able to produce what they need to produce, and like they're all catching their own fish and it's not being regulated and stuff, then they could have to, they wouldn't have some stuff to trade or enough to trade, and like maybe their population would like decline because they'd have to trade more people, more girls. And so and if they didn't regulate the food or they didn't have enough fish to take into the village, then that village might take them over and lose respect. So he's like, this is why we do this. This is why you can't disobey. This is why this happens. And it's like a ritual thing. It's like they pray over the person and send them out.
Who do they pray to?
It's like a nature god, but I don't know the name.
Okay. And can you tune into what the people are feeling or thinking when he says all of this?
They don't like it. They're not happy. Like, they feel like they're stuck.
And how does he feel during this watching? Does he notice the kids, the woman's children?
And he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
No. And like, even their father is like one of his soldiers, I guess, or his men, and he doesn't really care either. It's like if the woman, if she didn't comply, then she deserved it. Is like the attitude.
That's how the soldier feels too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's fast forward or rewind to an important scene that you need to see with Tatu's life. And on the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3.
No, he's getting sick, I think. And he knows he's not going to be able to lead much longer. His son's not old enough. Because he, for whatever reason, had a lot of girls before, when he was in the younger age. So he doesn't feel like his son is ready. And he's thinking that he's going to lose control. Like things are not going to be the same because there's not another older male that's in the direct family line that can take over at that time. And if a woman takes over, that everything will fail. That the whole tribe will dissolve.
How does he know this? Has this happened before?
No, but it's always been told to him.
What is he sick with?
It feels like something like a bug, like it carried like a mosquito or something, like a virus. Yeah.
And what symptoms does he have?
He's becoming frail. He's vomiting. Can't keep down food, or so completely dehydrated. And stomach cramps, really short.
Who takes... Oh, and he was feeling those stomach pains when they were leaving the beach. Interesting. Who takes care of him when he's sick?
His wives.
And how does he feel when they're taking care of him? Or how do they feel when they're taking care of him?
Like a sense of duty, but they don't love him.
Is he nearing like a type of death or just weakness and he's scared of losing power?
He's gonna die. He's got, I would say at this point, like 4 weeks.
And he knows this?
He knows he's gonna die.
And are there any surprising thoughts that run through his head during this time of near his death?
Mainly that like he felt invincible before, and now it's like his death is upon him and he's really not invincible. He's almost in shock.
If he were asked if he would change anything about his life, is there anything he'd change?
He'd go back to being a kid and have his mom live longer and his sister not get sold or traded.
Let's fast forward to his death. And on the count of 3, you'll be there and describe to me as you witness it out of body what happens. 1, 2, 3.
He's just very weak and dehydrated. So he can't breathe very well. It's labored. And he's like hallucinating, just so delirious, and his son is there and his wife's, and he can't really speak even at that point. So he just eventually takes his last breath because he's so weak he can't continue anymore. He's very, very frail, very thin skin and bones. You can see his ribs and every bone. through his skin.
How does his son feel?
It's almost like his son's small, you know. He's like about 8 to 10, I don't know, 9.
Mhm.
So he feels kind of lost because that was his, like, he took him as his, like, under his wing, and he was his, like, shadow, basically wanted him to shadow him. So then he feels lost now.
As you watch Tatu take his last breath, do you notice if anything happens after he dies?
He's at peace. He feels at peace. I mean, like with his soul, he's at peace. But at the village, it's like they're relieved because things are changing. There's been, for whatever reason, a lot more women or females born over the years, and like the family, the like direct family has very few males, and so it does seem as if like the women are starting to take over more or have more power, and they want it. They want more equality in the village.
It's like it was happening for a reason, is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, kind of like there's a sense of relief with the village. But he felt like it's almost like at the very last moment, like he always loved the power and loved the almost like the things he did. Like he felt like he had a very big, like a sense of duty that he was doing a favor to all these people, even when he was doing bad things. But like at the last moment, it's like he felt the pressure he was under that made him feel that way, if that makes sense. And it was like it finally released.
And now that Tatu has passed, is there any other feelings that he's feeling of remorse or regret, or now that he has seen it on the other side?
Yeah, he sees what he did was wrong, but and that how it was passed down to him, but he could have changed it, but he didn't, because he felt such a strong sense of like duty. But he realizes now that like he could have cared for them in a different way and didn't need to be cruel or punish them. He didn't need to punish anybody. He could have maintained control. They were good people. There was nobody that was doing anything that was really wrong. So he didn't need to take the steps that he took to maintain control.
And when I ask this question, tell me what comes to mind when I ask why Krista was shown Tatu's life. What comes to mind?
The word control. Like feeling like the lack of boundaries now are because he didn't, in that life, it relates because he didn't respect anyone's boundaries. He had no boundaries for other people. And now it's like the opposite. It's like a mirror,
Getting a
This is
taste.
what I'm getting is the word mirror. And then also food, like food allergies, food problems with food digestion, things like that, because of the control he used on people with food.